Hey y'all, I'm Rachel, owner and artist here at Stella Rose Boutique, located inside Stella Rose Mercantile here in Greenville, Tennessee. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button for me, and if you're not, welcome back friends and family. Today I'm participating in a gingerbread collaboration. You will find a link to the playlist in my description box below, as well as a link to the hosts' channels in the description box too. Make sure you go to the playlist so you can watch everybody that's participating in this collaboration. I have two projects for you, so let's get started with project number one. The host of this collaboration is Shabby meets Bling, Up All Night DIY, The Holiday Workshop, and Jody at Southern Seasons. Here's project number one. I will be using the Portobello stamp from Iron Orchid Designs, mixing white ink and DIY paints and Big Top. This is some leftover scrap wood from taking apart the handicap ramp that was built for me this summer when I had my knee replaced. My son is helping me get some of the scrap pieces cut here, and I'm going to be building some gingerbread houses for a gingerbread village out of scrap wood. Once we were done getting everything cut, I took my sander to all the pieces. I sanded off all the staining because these were outside for the handicap ramp, and made sure that all the edges were smooth and there was no splinters to be had. You notice there are holes from the screws that are in this wood. I am not filling them because this just is scrap wood left over. You can choose to fill it with a filler of your choice if you don't want them there. I then, for the pieces that I had where there was two sections or two different pieces, I put wood glue, Type Bond 2, which is my favorite wood glue to use, and I clamped them together, and then I got my finish nailer out and I nailed them together so that it had more of a secure bond and they would not come apart. Once I was done with all of these, I took them upstairs. I mixed a little bit of Summer Crush, which is the orange color from DIY, a tiny bit of blue from which is Hey Sailor, and then I added just a little bit of layered chocolate, which is a brown, to come up with the perfect gingerbread color. Here are the 4 houses that I built. I'm going to paint them with the mixture that I made. See how little amount of paint is in there? DIY paint is so heavily pigmented and so thick that you can thin it down and it goes so far and you don't lose any of the color saturation when you dilute it down. I am taking out my Iron Orchid Design stamp, Portobello, which is from this year's holiday release. Each time you open a brand new stamp, the very first thing you need to do is sand it with either a 220 or a 320 grit sandpaper. You need to go at least in one direction. I prefer to go in 2 different directions. This is so that all the mediums that you use adhere to it better and you have a better, more crisp, finer result. Once I am done sanding the stamps, I like to cut them apart into pieces. Now, the large individual single sheet stamps like Cubano, because it's one piece, obviously I'm not going to cut that apart, but I do leave them on their harder backing so they have that support when you're stamping them. You can then take them off if you're doing a larger design and use it with a thin mount board. Once I have them all cut out, I go around the edges and make sure that they're all rounded, because that piece is a very sharp piece once you've cut them, and I want to make sure that there's no edges that I can get hurt on. Once I'm done with that, these are the masks that come with them. All the stamp sets that require masks come with them in the package, and you just take it and lightly pull them apart. They are pretty well pre-cut, and you need to be gentle with them so that they don't tear. Now I'm ready to start stamping and creating my gingerbread village. I am loading my stamp pad up with the mixing white ink from IOD. You can also use this ink to mix with any of the colors to create your own blended ink color. I load the ink up on the actual stamp piece that I'm going to be using, and I start stamping the roof. These stamps are so highly detailed and they're so easy to use and match up, so it's one seamless rooftop without any gaps. Once I'm done with the roof, I move to the front of the house and I stamped the flower box down first. I cover it with the mask and then I stamp the window next. The reason why you use the mask is because you want the item to stand out where the window box is first. So you put that down, and then when you cover it up and you stamp the window next, it makes the window look behind the flower box. Here I'm showing you how you can use these stamps to create a single pane window instead of a double pane window. So I just inked the top half of it, and then I only pushed the top half down on the project, and then I just inked the edge of the bottom of the window, and then I pressed that. So I've now got a single pane window instead of a double pane window. You see here I'm using the bricks. So I've got the masks down on the first set of things that I stamped. This way the brick looks like it is behind the window and the door when I'm all done. Now, because I created my own window that does not have a mask for it, so I'm making my own mask. I took the layer that I pulled off of the stamps. I always save that for this reason. And I took a permanent marker. I laid that down over the top of the window, and I took a permanent marker and I traced around the outside of it, and then I cut it out. And I have my own mask for a specific window that I created that wasn't with the stamp. Once I was done with all of the houses, I sealed them all up with a layer of Big Top, and then I took my heat gun to them to dry them really quickly. Check out the final reveal at the end of the video. Project number 2, I'm going to be using the IOD mold in Ginger and Spice, the amazing casting resin, and some Painterly paints, our new paint line from DIY. Once I've mixed equal parts of part A and B for the casting resin, I pour them into the mold, and I'm holding a metal rod into the actual mold and the casting resin so it'll harden in it. These are going to be Christmas tree picks. I'm going to be painting the gingerbread's head, hands, and feet with what is left over from the paint that I custom blended for the gingerbread houses for the village. And then I'm going to use some of these 12 brilliant colors from our newest paint line to paint their clothing. The definition of Painterly is outside the rules of artistry. This is a loose, non-traditional paint for anyone. It's an artist's paint for furniture or canvas. Painterly is blendable, dries flat, and can be reactivated with water, which makes it the perfect companion to DIY's clay-based paint. Like, it goes together like peanut butter and jelly. Most modern-day paints are filled with plastics and acrylics. Artists from history used to make their own paints from high-quality pigments and simple pigment ingredients. Painterly is made with premium Japanese pigments. There's no acrylic or plastic fillers. This means our simple paint will help you create authentic finishes, and it's like the difference between baking with margarine versus butter. These are the perfect colors for your handmade gifts, home decor. A little goes a long way. You can mix with white for beautiful pastel colors or add it to any DIY paint to create a new color. This unique formula blurs the lines between furniture art and painting. You can check out these colors on my website at stellarosemercantile.co or in my shop. Be sure to subscribe to see further projects with using Painterly. You see me here, I wrapped the sticks with floral tape and then I put them in the Christmas tree. This added the perfect pop of color to the Christmas tree. Look at the detail that IOD puts in these molds. It's stunning. Here are the adorable gingerbread Christmas homes made with the scrap wood left over from disassembling my handicap ramp. These literally cost me pennies, just the cost of the stamp and the paint. You can find all of the paint and products that I used in today's video at stellarosemercantile.co or come by my shop at 524 Justice Drive in Greenville, Tennessee. I would love to meet you. So y'all, which of the two projects were your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of the videos in the upcoming year. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!